welcome to part 2 of Marissa does the longest water fast she's ever done in her life, and strangely feels like this is the best water fast she's ever done.
That's me. I'm Marissa. Continue around here.
If you haven't seen part 1 of this, I highly recommend going and watching that first because it includes a lot of very important information about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and a very important disclaimer, which I will recap right now, and that is, I do not recommend fasting to everyone. Just because it can be healthy for some people does not mean it's healthy for everyone. It absolutely can promote a disordered relationship with food if you don't have a super solid, healthy relationship with food and with your body to start with. If you already have a disordered relationship with food, I recommend not really even watching this video at all. And that's doubly, triply, 100 times more true for anyone who's watching this video thinking that they're gonna do a prolonged fast to lose weight. Prolonged fasting is a horrible way to try to lose weight and keep it off long term because most of the weight that you lose during your fast is water weight anyway, so you regain it right back as soon as you're done fasting. So don't do this for weight loss, okay? Good. I think that's the disclaimer out of the way. If you want to know why I'm doing this, that's in part 1 of the video. Part 1 is linked in the description, so again, go watch that if you haven't seen it yet. I will still be here when you're done with that video. You can just pause this and then come back to this later to find out how long I actually did end up fasting. Because the plan for this fast was to be a 3-day water fast, and it turned into a much longer fast than I expected. As I'm filming this, I have not yet broken my fast, but I am significantly beyond the point of what I have fasted to before. So without further ado, let's pick up right back where we left off. I have 26 hours of my fast left. I'm out for a walk, getting in a little bit of movement, a little bit of activity, a little bit of fresh air, a little bit of cloudy sunshine, and I'm feeling really good today. I don't feel hungry. I'm pretty sure my body is just in ketosis now, or burning fat for fuel, so I have a consistent source of energy. It's great. I do still want to eat, but I'm feeling pretty darn good. I also wanted to take a quick second to highlight one of the other big reasons that I like doing these kinds of fasts beyond reasons that are for my health, and that is the huge mindset shifts. Like, I always walk away from my fast with a much stronger mindset and self-belief that I can do hard things. And I am very seriously considering going more strictly gluten-free than I ever have been. I have celiac disease, so I've been like strictly gluten-free since I was like 9, but I've never worried too much about cross-contaminations at restaurants and stuff. And I never feel gluten symptoms when I do eat at restaurants where there's a risk of cross-contamination. But in my journey to completely healing my skin and trying to figure out what is going on with my mitochondrial health and function, because according to the biome test it is suboptimal, I have considered the idea that it could be just chronic low dose of gluten exposure is messing with my skin. Probably should have thought about that a long time ago, but all this is to say, I'm seriously considering going very strictly gluten-free, like avoiding any potential cross-contamination, and that's gonna be harder. That's gonna require a lot more discipline. But going through this 3-day fast, like, if I can make it through this, I can make it through that. And fasting also makes other things that are hard but also beneficial feel easier. So things like cold plunging, regular exercise, sauna, etc. Like, these things are hard while you're doing them, but you get huge positive effects from it, and fasting is the same. And so it just gives me this really strong sense of like being able to do all the hard things that are going to make me even better and even healthier and even more excited for life. And along those lines, I feel like in the last year or two I've kind of lost a lot of the discipline that I had around health and fitness, but also just around like work and life in general. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. Burnout from living the life of a chronic overachiever, mental, emotional, and physical recovery that needed to happen after an abusive relationship. Like, there were a lot of things where my life really did need to like slow down, and I needed to kind of like let go of the discipline, or at least not do as much as I was doing. But now I feel like I'm in a good place to start re-implementing that discipline, and so I'm kind of kicking it off with a 3-day fast, because this is one of the things that requires so much freaking discipline, and so if I can do this, I can do anything. So beyond all of the health benefits, doing a prolonged water fast for me feels like a really good reset mentally. It feels like opening up a new chapter in my life, or even opening up an entirely new book in my life. It feels very empowering, and it feels like I can write whatever story I want to. I have come to my boyfriend's house, A, to hang out with him, but B, for a distraction. Although at this point, honestly, I don't feel like I really need that much of a distraction. I feel like I'm doing pretty well. Like, I don't feel physically hungry, which is just wild to say. He was in the middle of eating his dinner when I walked in, and that made me want food. Like, smelling food really makes me want food. But other than that, it just kind of feels like a mosquito, like an annoying buzzing, although not as terrifying as a mosquito. I hate mosquitoes. It just kind of feels like an annoying buzzing in the background, but not something that's like super present in the forefront of my brain, which is quite nice. I feel like this is the most successful fast I've ever done in that sense, where like I think this is the best that I've felt around this time into the fast. So in theory, I am getting into like maximum autophagy phase right now, which is very exciting. For my research and understanding, autophagy really starts to kick up after like 2.5 days. Right now, all my cells are eating themselves and recycling all of the little broken down mitochondria and misfolded proteins and all that good stuff, which is cool to think that that's happening in my body right now. So I figured it'd be worth quickly touching on some of the cool downstream benefits of autophagy, so not just like this process of clearing out damaged cellular components, but like what that actually means for you long term. And I think one of the biggest and coolest things for me is that a lot of the damaged components that get broken down are components that would contribute to an increased risk of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. So fasting or promoting autophagy can be a really powerful tool in promoting long-term cognitive health. Also, when cellular components start malfunctioning, that can lead to an increased risk of cancer, and so clearing those out can decrease your risk of cancer. Autophagy can also destroy pathogens that are in a cell, so things like viruses and bacteria that could lead to illness. And then one of the biggest systems in the body impacted by autophagy is the immune system, and studies show that a 3-day fast can regenerate or reset most of your immune system. And the last kind of cool thing that I'll mention is that during autophagy, your body is breaking stuff down, but what this does is that leaves space for your body to create new cells. And so once you start refeeding after a fast, your body can use the building blocks of the food that you give it post-fast, as well as the building blocks of the various things that it broke down to synthesize new cells. And so they're gonna function a lot better than old cells, and so all of the systems in your body are just gonna function more efficiently and effectively. Oh, actually, a last thing that I just remembered, fasting can be really powerfully beneficial for your gut health as well. It suppresses inflammation in your gut and helps protect good bacteria so that they can thrive. All around, lots of great reasons to do a fast, but again, I'm not recommending this to everyone. The potential negative effects could greatly outweigh the benefits if you are someone who should not be fasting. I'm feeling really good today. I feel a little bit hungry, but like energy is up. My body physically is feeling even better than it was yesterday, so we're doing pretty good. But the thing is, I have like a bunch of calls and meetings that I have to take today, and then I have some plans to go pick up some furniture on Facebook Marketplace, because your girl prefers to buy furniture and stuff secondhand. And so I don't know when I'm actually gonna break my fast. I'm just gonna be going until way past the time when I started my fast. And I don't really want to break my fast like right before I go to bed, because I know as soon as I break my fast, my appetite's just gonna like shoot up. And if I break my fast with a huge meal to like quell my appetite, I will probably just poop my pants. So like you have to take it slow.
8:01 p.m.
So now on hour 75 of my fast, I'm still feeling really good, which is great, but I haven't had time to like sit down and break my fast yet because I've just been running errands all day. But I did have a chance to stop at the grocery store and get some groceries to help me break my fast whenever that happens to happen. But I'm super proud of myself because I went to the grocery store after not having eaten for 3 full days, and I only bought 1 extra thing that wasn't on my list, and it was still like a really good thing to have to use in the next day or two to break my fast. So very proud. So errands and such took a while. It is midnight. That puts me at what, hour 79-ish of this fast, and honestly I'm not hungry right now, so I think I'm just gonna go to bed soon and wake up and break my fast, and it'll just be the longest fast that I've ever done. But I'm feeling really good, so like that's fine. It has crossed my mind many a time to consider doing a 5-day fast, and I'm not gonna do that this time, mostly because I have family dinner plans in like a couple days, so I need a couple days to break my fast before I go to dinner. I'm not gonna break my fast with a huge dinner, else I'd poop my pants. And if I weren't feeling like good in my body right now, I wouldn't consider it. Like I would just break my fast ASAP. So I think I'd just rather get some sleep and then wake up and break my fast. So I hardcore slept in, slowly went about my morning routine, got a couple things done today that I needed to get done, and now we're on hour 95 of the fast. So if I go one more hour, I'll technically have made it 4 days. So I think I'm just gonna do that. In part 1 of this video, I talked about how I've experienced so many different types of hunger on this fast, and kind of along those lines, something that I've found very interesting is that, at least so far, my hunger kind of peaked around the 30-ish hour mark and then kind of slowly diminished, and it never got worse than that 30-hour mark. Like it's been, like I said, a constant kind of buzzing in the back of my head, like kind of annoying, but at no point have I felt like, oh my god, I'm starving. And it's just interesting because you would expect that like the longer you go, the hungrier you would get, but I think I hit a peak in like amount of hunger that a body can experience, and then it just kind of slowly tapered off into the background. And at this point it almost feels meditative. It kind of feels like going through my day, I'm trying to refocus my brain and shift my focus away from that annoying buzzing in the back of my brain and just to whatever I'm doing. Because it's very easy to get distracted by the hunger, especially when I smell food. When I smell food, it has not been easy. And honestly, now that I think about it, I feel like this is a mindset that can very easily carry over into my running adventures. I feel like it's a very similar like mind over matter kind of thing, where like your body is tired, it wants to stop, but you're like,
No, I know you can keep going.
but I think next time I run, I'm gonna try to apply this mindset that I have sharpened during my fast to my run and see if that helps, because fasting really helps me kind of dial in the mindset of I can do hard things, and for me, running is very hard. So while I wait out the last like 40 minutes of this fast, I figured I'd show you guys my post-fast lineup of fast-breaking foods. So the goal here is maximize nutrient density, but also start very gentle on the digestive system. Some people can get away with just eating real solid food immediately after fasting. I cannot.
I tell you this from experience.
So I'm starting with 2 cups of beef bone broth. I love this one from Kettle and Fire. It's regeneratively farmed, grass-fed, sustainable farming, etc., etc. And then this is honestly the part that I'm least looking forward to, because I don't care how hungry I am. I don't think I will ever enjoy a like green juice. Celery, cucumber, kale, spinach, parsley. There's not even fruit in it. I'm gonna attempt to choke this down just to get in those key nutrients that I have not been consuming, but we'll see how far I get into it. And I also have a kombucha, mostly for the probiotics, and then from there we step up into solid food with this dairy-free coconut yogurt from Kalina. More solid food, real fiber.
I'm not just gonna eat straight chia seeds. I'm gonna make chia seed pudding ahead of time.
Raspberries and blueberries. I have more of these in the fridge too. I also have more of this, more of this, more of this. So I have more of all of these things in case my hunger is ramping up and it feels like my digestion can tolerate it. But this is just kind of the baseline, what I start with. And then lastly, I have an avocado. So I'll probably have that with some olive oil and salt and pepper. Maybe not pepper, maybe just salt, I don't know. And then some beet kraut on the side. 5 minutes left. So as I am heating up my bone broth and reflecting, I realized that I really haven't even had any cravings today. Yesterday, things would pop into my head like, ooh, like an egg bagel sandwich sounds amazing, or oh my god, pancakes sound fantastic. But today I haven't even really had any cravings for things, which is kind of just wild. Like that makes me think like a 5-day fast isn't much harder than a 3-day fast. I'm not gonna continue. I am gonna break my fast right now, but I think I would like to attempt a 5-day fast in the future, because I feel like extending my fast by even 24 hours, I've learned so much more about my body and my brain. An altogether really interesting, insightful, enlightening experience. And that is time. So mistake number 1 of my fast, making this bone broth way too hot to drink.
Flavor.
That's amazing. So something else interesting that I noticed this time while fasting is that the deeper I got into it, the more other little things just held so much more significance and pleasure in a way. Like my warm shower last night was just amazing. Oh, you don't want to hang out? She was meowing at me like she wanted to hang out. It felt like without the constant dopamine hit from food, other things that give a dopamine hit had a larger dopamine hit, essentially. So things like warm showers, the comfort of my own bed, snuggling up under a blanket, online shopping, and watching TV and movies. All of those things just felt so much more enticing and pleasurable than normal. And I feel like it's given me a renewed sense of gratitude, appreciation for those things, I suppose. And like even this tastes like one of the best bone broths I've ever had in my life, even though it's basically the same bone broth I get anytime I have bone broth. And the other super fun thing from doing this is that I am so much more excited about healthier foods again. But when you haven't eaten in an extended period of time, everything just tastes so much better and so much more rich, and like berries taste sweeter. A sprig of asparagus sounds good, and I really don't like asparagus. So I feel very inspired right now to try new things and new recipes and new flavors and combos and stuff in the kitchen of foods that I know are going to fully nourish my body. And that doesn't come from a place of restriction at all. It comes from a place of joy and gratitude, if that makes sense. I think feeling gradually weaker and weaker throughout this process has kind of just, I mean, I've always known food is fuel and like you have to nourish your body to feel strong and everything, but like it's one thing to know that and apply that, and it's another thing to like feel it. And so it just brings a whole other perspective to understanding food as nourishment and as energy. So overall, I would say that this fast was a really good experience for me. It went a lot better than I expected in the first place. It went a lot smoother than any fast I've done previously. I do feel like doing an extra day actually did add more value for me, at least mentally. I mean, I'm assuming I got more autophagy out of it as well, which is very exciting, but I have no way of actually measuring that. Although now that I think of it, my skin is actually doing a ton better than it was when I started this. So it's quite possible that fasting helped my skin. So now that the fast is officially broken, and I think I've given you all of my thoughts and insights that I got during this process, I think that brings me to the end of this video. If you do have any questions about my experience with fasting, how I get through the hunger, etc., or just about fasting in general and the science and autophagy and senescence and anything like that, please leave a comment down below. And if you've done a prolonged fast in the past, I would love to hear your experience with it down in the comments below. Like, what did you get out of it? How did you feel physically, mentally, etc.? And I feel like I have to wrap this up with just another disclaimer, just because I had a really good experience with this and I feel like I learned a lot and gained a lot out of it, does not mean I'm recommending it to everyone. It does not mean I think everyone is going to get the same experience and benefit out of this. If you're starting off from a place with a not so great relationship with food or with your body, this could spiral really, really quickly. And also, even if you have a good relationship with those things, if your health is not in the right place for this, it could also go really poorly. So check in with yourself, check with your doctor before you even consider doing something like this. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really does support me and my channel. I really genuinely appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends, your family, your fasting buddies. If you want to see more content from me all about health, fitness, biohacking-ish stuff, longevity-based stuff, you can check them out over here. See future videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post a video, and I will see you very soon. Bye!